Imagine that all aspects of your soul self essence are like stars in the sky. And when they're arranged in a beautifully aligned way, then you get to witness the constellation that is the authentic essence of you. So imagine just hundreds and thousands and millions of stars in the sky. And when they're all aligned in just the optimal way, just the most aligned way, then the constellation that they create reveals the radiance of your authentic being. But if some stars are shining really brightly and other ones are too dim to see, then you won't see the authentic totality of all that you are. You'll still see a beautiful essence of you, but it won't be the fullness of all that you are. And if the organization of those stars is not in full alignment, or if the way that they're organized isn't able to connect, then again, you'll see a beautiful night sky and a wonderful collection of stars, but you won't get to see the actual constellation of your authentic being. Now imagine that the essence of your soul is flowing through your brain and your body. And there is the essence of your soul, and then there is the brain-body wiring that supports that self-essence within the navigation of the human experience, expression, embodiment, and expansion. Now, imagine that there are dozens and hundreds of unique aspects of self who each have a counterpart that perfectly balances that part of the self. And then all of those dozens and hundreds of parts of self, each with their counterpart, are then able to collaborate with each other. And so for a visual representation, imagine that there's 100 people, let's say, and they're all in a big giant circle in a field. And they're standing with a little bit of space in between them, but close enough that they could reach out and touch the other person's hand or shoulder if the other person reached out towards them. Okay, so a little bit of space, but close enough to have connection while also still having your own individual space. So just imagine 100 people in a big circle in a big open field and enough space between each person that you're able to breathe and you're not like claustrophobic and bumping into shoulders, but close enough so if you reached out your arm, you could reach over and make contact with that other person, okay? And now imagine that in this circle, every person is able to look across the circle and have a connection with the person who is directly across from them in that circle, okay? And the interesting part about this is that physically, that's the person who's actually farthest away. But it is their counterpart, the perfected opposite that brings balance to them. And so every single person in these 100 people, okay, are looking directly across and they see their counterpart. And physically, it's the aspect of self that is farthest away, and yet it is the one that is directly in front of them visually, okay? So 50 people, they're each counterparts to each other. And then there is the collaboration between the neighbors of each person, okay? So each person has a counterpart directly across from them visually, but is the farthest physically away. But then as you look at all the circle, then there's the people next to each other, and those are the neighbors, and they can make contact and collaborate and communicate. From this visual example, let's go a little deeper into what this actually means in relation with the divine consciousness of the soul essence flowing through brain-body wiring within the individuation of human experience. Let's start with the childhood self. For every aspect of the childhood self, there is a complementary counterpart of the present day adult self. And for every aspect of the present moment self, there is a complementary counterpart of the childhood self. And then let's go into brain hemispheres. For every characteristic, strength, and attribute of the left brain hemisphere, there is a complementary counterpart to that aspect of self flowing through distinct regions of brain-body structures. There's a complementary counterpart of a certain characteristic, quality, attribute, strength, or trait within the right brain hemisphere that is the opposite part of that, but brings balance to it. And then there are energy levels and states of being throughout the nervous system. And for every energetic state of activity in the nervous system, there is a complementary counterpart that brings balance to it. And so, for example, if there's an energetic state in the nervous system of, I just want to be really low energy and cuddly and maybe eat some chocolate and watch a movie, there is a complementary counterpart to that aspect of self flowing through that region of brain-body wiring that has the opposite that brings balance to it. And in that counterpart state of activity, it's, I'm energized, I'm going to go exercise, I'm fasting today, I'm eating really healthy, I'm loading up on protein and vegetables, and I'm continually moving my body, and I feel such vitality. I'm doing 3 different kinds of exercise today just because I feel like it. And so there's different states of activity in the nervous system, different parts of self who experience and encounter that. And for every aspect of self and every state in the nervous system in terms of energetic activity, there is a complementary counterpart, a polar opposite in some cases when it's a specific energetic quality or attribute, but a complementary counterpart, a 2 sides to the same coin kind of thing. There is an aspect of the self and a state of energetic activity or engagement in some degree as consciousness encounters the human experience, expression, embodiment, and expansion through brain-body structures. And there's a complementary counterpart for that aspect of self flowing through a region of the body-mind or brain-body wiring. And then there's aspects of self flowing through the front parts of the brain and the back parts of the brain that have complementary counterparts to each other. And so there's aspects of self in the forebrain who are in a space of conscious awareness and mindful intentionality and direct observation and intentional choice. And for every energetic attribute flowing through the navigational and regulational structures of brain-body systems, there is a complementary counterpart in brain activity and a complementary counterpart for that aspect of the self. Okay, hang with me here. We're going to get into what does this actually mean? How do you apply this in everyday life? How can this be beneficial? How are these insights helpful? What do you actually do from the awareness of this information? We're going to get into the application of it. Let's just explore this introduction to this topic, and then we'll get into how this actually applies in our personal experience. So in this example, there's energetic attributes in the front parts of the brain, and they're complemented by the counterpart in the back parts of the brain, where everything is instinctive and automatic and happening based on styles of navigational projections from unconscious memories and happening automatically and instinctively beyond awareness through the body rather than through the mind. And then there are aspects of the self flowing within the mind that especially perceives energy, and there's aspects of the self especially flowing through the body that are receiving energy. And there's aspects of the self who are within masculine energetic attributes and aspects of the self flowing through feminine energetic attributes. And then you can explore pieces of memory data even. And there are aspects of the self flowing through the implicit sensation of a piece of memory data. And then there are aspects of the self who are the complementary counterpart flowing through the explicit pieces of that memory data. And so aspects of self connected with memories that have different sensations and images and feelings, and then the aspects of the self who have the other piece of that memory who are able to put it into an autobiographical linear narrative and describe the beginning, middle, end of the story of those images and sensations. And there's aspects of the self who are flowing through brain-body activity and body-mind navigation that support energy being externally focused, and aspects of the self flowing through body-mind structures that focus and prioritize more on that internal energy and inward focus. And parts of the self who are focused more on mental needs and the need for mental stimulation or mental satisfaction or intellectual engagement or something that has to do with satisfaction and fulfillment through the mind. And then there are parts of the self who are much more focused and prioritizing and navigating and within the experience of fulfilling the needs for the physical body and the emotional body and feeling satisfaction and fulfillment in the body body. Maybe that's through rest or exercise or certain styles of being in nature or eating or enjoyment or pleasure or listening to music or satisfaction. And so there's these different priorities and these different focal points and these different strengths and characteristics and attributes and qualities and traits and all of these things going on. And there's all these different structures in brain-body regulation and navigation. And then there's all these different parts of the self who are within the experience, expression, embodiment, and expansion of each of those characteristics. Okay? So let's go back to the visual. There's 100 people standing in a circle in a field, a big, beautiful circle, and they're next to each other. They have different neighbors. And then the complementary counterpart to that aspects of self is directly across from them. And then we've also got the visual analogy of constellation in the sky where there's hundreds of stars, and when they're in a certain style of alignment and burning at a certain frequency of brightness, then you're able to look at that constellation and really see the totality of your own authentic self-essence, okay? So the goal is, hey, there's all these different parts of self. We want to get to know all of these parts of self and make sure that all these parts of the self feel individually known and collectively known, which means you know each aspects of self and all the aspects of self know about each other. And in this process, we want to facilitate the body-mind or brain-body wiring in optimally navigating that unified and expanded sense of self. Because knowing these parts of self and helping these aspects of self know about each other and really optimizing their superpowers, because they each have this, quality of self or characteristic or expression or navigational priority or inner well-being. These different aspects of self have energies associated with the navigation of their authentic being. And we really want to help all these parts of self be the fullness of all that they are. But these parts of self, soul essence, divine consciousness, self-essence, soul self, is flowing through brain-body structures. And so the ability for parts to be known and to know each other depends on how well the body-mind can support that type of navigation of self. Okay? Is that making sense? Okay, so there's all these different parts of self, and you can imagine them as the stars in the sky or the people in the field. And we want to know those parts of self. We want to know each of those people in the field. We want to get to know each star in the sky and that constellation of you. And we want to help all the stars know about each other. We want to help all the people know about each other in that field. But within the human experience, those people in the field are actually energies of soul or spirit essence who are vibrationally flowing through brain-body wiring. And in order to accomplish all that we desire in this realm, we actually need to expand the power of infinite awareness through pure consciousness, connect deeper with all aspects of self, and then consciously influence brain-body wiring so that the body-mind can support the navigation of the soul from a place of unconditional love and pure magic. And this opens the door for brain-body structures to flow more optimally and for all parts of self to be known for the magic and love that they are, to be lovingly known in their magic, and to have greater unity, wholeness, and connection throughout the totality of self-essence. So each of those aspects of self can be in perfect harmony and balance with their counterparts while having total connection with all other aspects of self. I'm going to say that again because this is so powerful and important. The intention here, the optimal state, is for each aspect of self to be known for the magic that they are, to be lovingly known for the magic that they are, and to be in perfect harmony and balance and equilibrium with their energetic counterpart, and to have full unity and connection throughout all other aspects of self. And so in the analogy of the 100 people in the field standing in a big circle where you're close enough you could hold hands if you want to, but still a little bit of space to be your own individuated person in this example, Each person is lovingly known for the magic of who they truly are. And then they can look across the circle and see their counterpart, and they are in perfect balance and harmony and vibrational equilibrium with them. And they have full unity and connection with all the other people standing in the circle. Even though they're not a direct counterpart for the particular magic that they carry in their energetic state of being, they're all parts of one self. They're all distinct and unique aspects of one unified consciousness, one unified essence of self. And so by activating this expanded state of awareness through pure consciousness, we can then connect deeper with parts of self, get to know them lovingly for the magic that they are, and then influence brain-body structures so that there is a natural state of navigation and regulation and brain-body wiring for each aspect of self to be in perfect fluid harmony, balance, and equilibrium with their complementary counterpart, and be in full unified connection with all other parts of self. How amazing does that sound? Let's just take a moment before we proceed to let that sink in and to really imagine that state of being, and to maybe take some time and hold some space to inquire about your own inner being and own inner state of activity and assess and evaluate, is that something you're experiencing? And to what degree? Because there's different layers and levels of this. Not experiencing it at all can really lead to some health challenges, even some dysregulation in nervous systems, some disconnect or imbalances in brain hemispheres, unique styles of disconnection between the mind and the body, especially through the front parts and the back parts of the brain, disintegration of memory data, where there's raw images and sensations without being able to be categorized and filed away in the library of linear events and integrated as a completed past experience, or action patterns where the body-mind instinctively and automatically makes choices without the full conscious presence and intentionality of the lucid awareness. Or imbalances of the nervous system where maybe you're always in a high energy nervous system state and you're just exercising all the time and eating healthy or fasting all the time. Or maybe you're in the opposite state and you're just like, I really just kind of sit around and eat a lot of sugary foods because that's really what my body is guiding me to want to experience. And engaging in those activities is satisfying because I'm in this low energy state of nervous system engagement, and the energy levels naturally just guide me to want to relax a lot and kind of just be cuddly and cozy and maybe have some high calorie food all of the time. Or imbalances in the extension and preservation or sustainment of inner and outer energies. And maybe you're always in an inner energy and you kind of just feel really isolated and like you just can't really engage in the outside world. Or the polar opposite, where you're constantly giving in external situations and scenarios without ever giving to yourself. And along those lines, there might be imbalances of masculine and feminine energies, or maybe even distortions in what that actually looks like. Because one of the most amazing things that we explore in the Trifecta Treasure Trove, this original modality I've developed, is how imbalances of masculine energy actually can manifest as feminine energy distortions. And vice versa, imbalances in feminine energy actually often manifest as masculine energy distortions. And so a lot of times you're like, oh, there's this imbalance in my feminine energy. And it's like, wait, actually, when we look at the liberated consciousness diagram, for example, and understand the correlations between consciousness and neuroscience through a lens of unconditional love, we actually explore the unconscious memory, navigational patterns, and projections. And we see that what originally appeared like an imbalance of feminine energy was actually a distorted projection from an imbalance of masculine energy. And we can start to explore this in a deeper way. Okay. So if there's severe imbalances, it can actually manifest and disrupt mental, physical, energetic, emotional, spiritual, relational health and well-being on a variety of levels. Okay. And at kind of a neutral place where you're like, I'm kind of connected, that's cool, your health might be doing well in mind, body, spirit, but maybe you're not experiencing the fullness of all that you are and you don't even know it. And there's always room for expansion. Once you start to explore all these aspects of self and influence this brain body wiring so that it can actually support the expansion of your soul, the expansion of your consciousness, where brain body wiring actually has neural networks, patterns of navigational potentials, and regulatory protocols, or the capacity for self-regulation in a way that actually supports the activation, awakening, and expansion of your divinity, your God state, your God consciousness, your divine self, your divine awareness, your conscious expansion, the expansion of your consciousness, the activation of your infinite energy, however you want to describe it, whatever resonates. There's always new layers, new depths, new heights where you get to know parts of yourself in a deeper way. You get to expand the structures in the brain body wiring to support that expansion of self. So even when everything is in really good harmony and balance and health and equilibrium, there's always room for expansion. So I just want you to take a moment and just kind of turn inwards and ask yourself, like, is there perfect harmony and balance where I deeply and intimately know every part of myself, and every part of that self feels lovingly known for the magic that they truly are, and every part of self is in perfect harmony and balance in a state of natural flow and equilibrium with their complementary counterpart, and all those parts of self now lovingly known for the magic that they are with perfect harmony and balance with their complementary counterparts. All those aspects of self have total unified wholeness and connection throughout the totality of self-essence. And maybe you have no idea, and that's totally fine too. Just because you ask yourself a question doesn't mean you have to have an answer right away. And so even if I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue. I have no idea if I know all these parts of myself. I have no clue if those parts of self feel lovingly known for the magic they are. I have no idea if all those parts of self are balanced with their counterparts. Like, who's the counterpart to this part of me? Like, I don't even know. Or I don't know if all parts of me are connected. I have no freaking clue if those 100 people in the field are all holding hands and singing Kumbaya in a big giant circle with, smiles on their faces as they look at their counterpart. Like, I don't know. That's totally fine too. We're not always here to find answers right away. We're here to ask better questions. We're not always here to know the answers to our inquiries, but we are here to ask better questions, to ask deeper questions, to ask more expansive questions. Because when you get to an answer, you often get to a dead end. But when you ask a bigger question, you open the capacity for more doors to appear for further exploration and expansion. And that's really what the soul craves. The soul doesn't necessarily crave a definitive answer that leads to a dead end of that inner journey. It actually craves to allow for every question to lead to a better question, a bigger question, a more expansive question, and then to journey further up and further in. Greater depths and greater heights, further up and further in, greater depths and greater heights, further up, further in, greater depths, greater heights, more love, more magic, more expansion, more exploration, more curiosity, more wonderment, more love, more magic, more love, more magic, unconditional love, pure magic. So I just invite you to begin a practice of awareness for starters, and to start to notice these parts of yourself. And even without having a framework like I teach in my Trifecta Treasure Trove modalities, you can just start to notice parts of yourself who are correlated with different energetic states of expression, embodiment, experience, and expansion. And then start to notice the magic of that part of you from a space of unconditional love. And then once you start to attune with that part of you, begin to notice, I wonder what the counterpart is to this part of me. If there's a part of me that really loves chocolate and cookies and sweet things, who is the part of me who brings balance to that aspect of me? And how can I also lovingly see and honor that part of me without having bias, without saying, oh, I love the part of me that loves vegetables more because they're healthier, or oh, I love the part of me that loves cookies more because we have more pleasure and satisfaction in the way we snack. Like, instead of having a bias towards a part of you, you just start to lovingly notice the magic of each part and grow curious about the aspect of self that brings balance to that aspect of you. And just start to have this space of expanded attunement and connection through the power of your own expanded awareness. And that right there is a perfect starting point. That right there is a perfect starting point. If you want to dive deeper, though, the best way to explore these parts of self, to lovingly see the magic of who they really are, and to connect with the harmonized balance and equilibrium throughout the totality of self-essence, with greater wholeness and unity and connection throughout all parts of the self, where all aspects of self can connect with each other, collaborate, and communicate, because the navigational structures of brain-body wiring support that, and the magic of each aspect of self is in perfect harmony and balance with the complementary counterpart to the other aspect of self at the other end of the brain regions, or the other end of the nervous systems, or the other end of that memory data, or the other end of those masculine, feminine energy traits, or the other end of those preferences, or the other side of whatever it is. And those 100 people in that field are all in a big circle, able to be close and connected with their neighbors, and able to be in perfect harmony and balance with the counterpart as they look at them from across the circle. And for the space of infinite awareness to lovingly connect with the magic of each aspect of self, and for there to be that unity and wholeness where every part of the self is known for who they are, and every part of the self is supported by their counterpart and by the collaboration of all these other self aspects through the facilitation of infinite awareness. And the way that the brain and the body naturally navigate and regulate self and life stems from that place of unconditional love and pure magic, where the natural flow of energy in the brain and body and in the body mind or subconscious instinctively supports that reality, where parts are known for the magic that they are, they're in balance with each other, and they're in connection with each other. And they're able to flow with the magic and the love that they truly are to experience more fullness and wholeness of self and life in a magical and loving way. And in that process, any disruptions, distortions, imbalances, or anything disrupting the natural flow of well-being throughout any of these systems can achieve a natural and fluid restoration to perfect harmony and balance. Harmony and balance throughout all the different brain regions, the nervous systems, the memory data, the navigational patterns, the projections, the energy levels of your state of being, inner and outer extensions of energy and reality, masculine, feminine, all of it can be in just perfect harmony and balance. And the most wonderful thing is when you work with parts of consciousness, then the brain and the body naturally follow. And so instead of needing to work with each individual brain-body system or each region of memory data in the body-mind, all of it can be naturally harmonized simultaneously in a very rapid and effective way that's a whole lot easier and has greater impact throughout all systems being brought into balance simultaneously. And then you have the chance to further expand and explore your sense of self, inner realities, and details of personal experience in ways that you've probably never imagined possible before, ways you've never encountered, ways you couldn't have even fathomed getting to be and experience and expand into and explore and express and embody. And so the most powerful way to do this is to explore parts of self through a lens of neuroscience and consciousness from a space of unconditional love. And this is exactly what I offer through my modalities in the Trifecta Treasure Trove. If you'd like to dive deeper, I offer a variety of self-guided journeys, one-on-one sessions, and multi-month personalized pathways. For the self-guided journeys, there are beginner, introductory, intermediate, and advanced journeys that allow you to explore these concepts and their personal application to create tangible transformation with somatic sensations of connecting deeper with yourself, shape-shifting how your brain and your body are supporting the navigation and regulation for your soul essence, and expanding into greater unity, wholeness, well-being, and a fuller knowing of the love and magic of your soul self. There's also a few self-guided journeys where instead of having personalized practices to apply all the insights and teachings, they're just conceptualized journeys to explore the abstract ideas of them. And so you can kind of just explore them from a more creative and intellectual standpoint rather than having personal practices to create tangible transformation. All of these unique styles of self-guided journeys come in a great variety, from inner self-hypnosis sessions to mindful practices of self-love to mirror journeys where you're intimately connecting with distinct parts of yourself, to social self-engagement practices applied in everyday moments where you're practicing distinction and connection between aspects of self to nourish internal attachment needs and create a felt sense of unconditional love to expand the neuroscientific well-being of your brain and your body and expand consciousness through the anchoring of your soul essence. And you're just practicing self-love through very creative, fun, enjoyable modalities. So lots of amazing variety. You can find the perfect journey that totally fits who you are, where you're at, and what your intentions are as you continue to invest in your own soul self liberation through the unconditional love and pure magic of who you really are. And if you want to connect personally, I have one-on-one sacred soul sessions where we connect for a single session, anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how deep you want to dive and how much you want to invest. And each individual session includes a complimentary playbook content creation that can be used before, during, and after our time together. And then if you want to dive deeper, my multi-month journeys are the most amazing excursion of loving liberation you could ever imagine. And you really get to explore all parts of yourself through this understanding of neuroscience and consciousness colliding through a lens of infinite love and unconditional love. And you really dive deep into exploring all aspects of yourself as soul essence, pure spirit, divine consciousness, infinite awareness, navigating infinite energy, your divine soul self, and the structures of the brain, body, and body-mind or subconscious that are facilitating navigation and regulation for the essence of you. And as you start to connect deeper with yourself, you notice the awareness of yourself connecting with different aspects of your inner experiencer, and then the essence of all that you are influencing how brain and body structures are facilitating the navigation of your sense of self and personal experience. And it is such a beautiful deep dive to explore these concepts and these teachings and this modality and these tools and insights, but then also to explore their personal application. What does this mean when you're experiencing this? And let's create a treasure map to actually draw a diagram that's personalized so you can have a visual representation of these parts of you and these regions of your body mind in a creative, colorful, simplified way. And you're like, oh, that's that part of me. That's how those parts of me are connecting over here. That's how this region of unconscious memories is affecting me. Here's the power of my awareness. I see it now. It's so simple. It's so clear. It makes so much sense. And it's these beautiful in-depth ideas, but in their application, they can be very simplified to understand everyday moments in a powerful and beautiful way. And then from that space, learn dozens and dozens of amazing practices through personalized play prompt prescriptions, dozens and dozens of amazing practices to create that tangible transformation, to create those somatic sensations of loving liberation, and to have this skill set where not only do you have the background knowledge and awareness and understanding and wisdom and insight and this toolkit of information, but then you also have this tool set to draw things out and have a simplified visual representation of what those insights mean applied to your personal experiences. But then you also have these practices where, okay, I totally understand my inner realities, parts of self and brain body wiring beyond anything I've ever known before, anything I ever could have imagined understanding about myself. And now I have dozens of amazing practices where I can apply that information and I can learn new ways of connecting with myself in everyday moments. And I can practice self-love in a way that rewires my brain. And I can practice grounded presence and mindfulness in a way that shifts the regulation of my body. And I can practice this expanded awareness to notice the vastness of my consciousness, even within everyday moments, while navigating the finite details of human experience and expression. And you have all these amazing practices where you can actually be using them in everyday moments and really connect deeper with the magic of all parts of you, lovingly unify all aspects of you in a new way while allowing for each part of self to be the magic that they individually are. And then reteach the brain and the body and the subconscious and the body mind to support the essence of your soul in a totally new way from a space of love and magic, to navigate life and self from pure magic and unconditional love, infusing every cell of your body, every aspect of your sense of self, every energy of your inner reality, and every detail of your personal experience, infusing all of it with unconditional love and pure magic so that more of your soul self can be anchored into the human expression and experience, embodiment and expansion. It's the most beautiful transformative journey, and I do have spaces open and available right now, and I would absolutely love to teach, guide, and facilitate a journey for you. If this is something that you are ready to invest in and you're like, yes, I want to know every part of me. Yes, I want to expand my consciousness. Yes, I want to understand the neuroscience of my own experience in everyday moments. Yes, I want to move beyond traditional insights of psychology and actually understand how consciousness collides with neuroscience to encounter the unique miracles of individuated human experiences. Yes, I want to bring balance to these different parts of me. Yes, I want to know who I really am within and beyond the human experience. Yes, I want to explore this. Yes, I want to have this lifelong skill set and reference tool and these practices and this resource within my own awareness to have instant ability to understand anything going on within me, to create a little treasure map where those complex understandings are simplified in a beautiful expression, and then to be able to prescribe a play prompt for myself so I have something to practice every day that's going to help connect my expanded awareness with all parts of me and influence brain-body wiring so that it can navigate and regulate life and self from the authentic energy of my soul essence. And whether you are healing from complex trauma or going through a journey of spiritual awakening or just looking to expand your sense of self and well-being, like there's so many different beautiful intentions that this journey can fulfill. And every journey is 100% custom tailored to perfectly fit who you are, where you're at, what your intentions are. So if you want to dive deeper into my trifecta treasure trove, I do have self-guided journeys, single sacred soul sessions, one-on-one, one-time calls, and then 3 or 6 month, multi-month pathways that includes weekly sessions with me and a variety of self-guided journeys that are referenced throughout the journey together. And so you have amazing collection of playbooks and guidebooks, and you have lifelong access to them. And then specific information throughout them will be used throughout your personalized 3 or 6 month journey so that those playbooks and guidebooks are used in a way that's personalized to perfectly fit who you are, where you're at, and what your intention is. And if you're ready to dive even deeper, you're like, yeah, that sounds good and all, but I want to meet my soul in an even more intimate way. Like, I don't want to just know about my brain body activity. I want to come face to face with the essence of my soul in a way that I've never known. I want to meet myself beyond the human experience and then anchor more of me within the human experience. I want to come face to face and eye to eye with aspects of myself I've never met before. I want this journey of knowing all parts of me and shifting brain body wiring to support my soul essence, but I want it in an even more intimate way, not just through play prescriptions and treasure maps and these amazing in-depth discussions. I want a journey that is going to activate and awaken and expand my soul and bring me face to face with the totality of all that I truly am so that I can reunify with the infinite totality of my soul essence and consciously influence my brain body wiring on the spot through guided mirror journeys, marathon journeys, mirror practices, eye gazing in mirrors, marathon journeys. I also offer mirror journeys that achieve all of these amazing, powerful, profound, transformative, life-shifting, heart-opening, body-mind healing, soul-liberating intentions through a complementary modality. I invite you to explore offerings through Mirror Play with Mirror Power and the Magical Marathon Mystery School. There are different self-guided journeys through a transformational marathon practice, and then the deeper dive is through the Magical Marathon Mystery School, which is offered in single sessions or multi-month journeys. Single sessions range from 2 to 2.5 hours, and multi-month journeys are 3, 6, or 12-month journeys that include weekly guided marathon sessions through my original subconscious unveiling techniques, which you can find more about in introductory playbooks and other content creations. And then you have daily marathon practices that are supported by other content creations as well. So I invite you to explore introductory playbooks and web pages to find which offering is the perfect fit for you. And then you can always connect with me through email, whether you'd like to just connect and say hello, like, hey, listen to your podcast, just wanted to pop in and say, yo, what up? I'd be happy to connect with you. Or if you want to order a self-guided journey, schedule a single session, or inquire about a multi-month personalized pathway through either Reborn as Infinite Love, through the Trifecta Treasure Trove, or the Magical Marathon Mystery School, I would be absolutely honored to connect with you and serve and support you in a deeper way. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. Thank you for exploring these concepts. Dare to create space to explore all parts of you, and feel free to re-listen to parts of this episode, as there's always amazing new little nuggets that can activate us in different ways at different times, at different periods along our journey. And to just ask yourself, are there parts of me that I've never met before? Are there parts of me I'm not attuned with? Are there aspects of me that maybe I haven't lovingly seen the magic of who they are, or really appreciated and valued and celebrated and respected and embraced and supported those parts of me for who they really are? And who are the aspects of me within the human experience, but also not defined by it? And that's a beautiful balance to explore, because the human experience is so beautiful. But if we've had experiences that didn't facilitate the love and magic of our authentic self, then the navigation of the body-mind might restrict the parts of self instead of allow those parts of self to be who they are. And so, are the parts of me that I know an authentic reflection of my soul, or are they just a distortion of navigational projections because of past moments that didn't feel like love and magic? And so to just practice an expanded state of awareness and connect deeper with all parts of you, and just begin to ask bigger questions, ask more expanded questions, look inward without needing an immediate answer, and just ask a question you've never asked, or explore a part of you you've never known, or inquire about a reality of your own inner being you've never explored before, and then witness how so much space opens for you to expand into a greater exploration, experience, embodiment, and divine expansion of your authentic soul within this lifetime. Thank you again for connecting, and I look forward to connecting with you soon, whether that's through another creation here or in a deeper dive through offerings in the sacred temple of my business, Kristen's Quantum Catalyzers.